Let's go with that one. Lardmount PD had a phone call recently with Vladimir Schmutin about Ukraine's ceasefire. Schmutin then left him on hold for over an hour, gloating to people around him that he was making him wait. Because Western dominance is slipping away. He is relishing the fact that he has a puppet in office who will do whatever he wants, including wait on hold for an hour. After that call, apparently what they agreed to was a very limited ceasefire in which they wouldn't attack each other's infrastructure or energy, but Schmutin said one of the provisions was that the US stop sending aid and weapons to Ukraine. So once again, just like with Kim Jong-un before in his first administration, Lardmount had a talk with an authoritarian dictator and received practically nothing in return. Because other authoritarians play him like a fiddle. I don't know who's exactly keeping track, but after only about 2 months in office, Lardmount has just committed his, fifth impeachable offense. Along with things like firing inspectors general without congressional approval, creating and having the Doge run rampant across the entire government, which, to remind you, the creation of a new department not only requires approval from Congress, but also congressional oversight, but also his proposal to take over Gaza, level it to the ground, and build resorts for rich people, pushes millions of people out of their home country and into other areas, which is a war crime. This is just a few examples of things he could have already been impeached for if the Republicans didn't have control of the Congress and had anything resembling a spine. While they completely ignore all of these horrible things that are blatantly impeachable offenses, the Republicans tried impeaching Biden for nearly 2 years, based entirely on hearsay accounts from an informant who later pled guilty to making the whole thing up. And with Lardmount ignoring orders from federal judges, which is what everyone is worried about because nobody's there to enforce these judges' orders and he is ignoring the judicial branch, the same thing is most likely to happen now that a federal judge has blocked his order to keep transgender people out of the military. I see him very easily ignoring this court order and not giving a shit. But tell us once again how Biden was supposedly a dictator. Because how many times did Biden defy federal law? How many times did Biden just suddenly say he was going to take over someplace like the Kennedy Center for the Arts and declared himself to be the new chairman of the board? How many times did Biden threaten our allies? How many times did Biden send innocent civilians to Guantanamo Bay and to torture prisons in El Salvador? How many times did Biden bring a billionaire into his cabinet meetings who said he was going to personally cut $500 billion from your Social Security? And how many times did Biden declare himself a king and say he wanted his face on Mount Rushmore? I would say it's exactly the number of times that MAGA thought about the consequences of their actions. Big fat goose egg. And also, how many times does this keep happening and it ends up being a Republican? However, we do see some good things happening. Oh, wait a minute. I think we'll go with this one. Mules Khan is losing his shit now that his company's stock has fallen below 50%. For obvious reasons. To where he appeared on an interview on Fox News and was choking up and was nearly crying. He said he's managing multiple businesses with great difficulty as his stock is suffering its worst drop in over 3 years. It has been plunging for several straight weeks. Or even its board members are getting panicky and selling off millions of dollars in their stock. And now that it's reaching this point, the answer is no. For so many people on the far left before November 5th who wanted to use this expression, allow me to use it now. Let it all burn down. Because not only will that send a massive message to the other corrupt oligarchs in this country, but in a small way, ironically, it'll make America a little bit greater again. One of the best ways that we can begin solving our problems is to take away all of this guy's fascist influence and to continue boycotting and allowing his businesses to plummet right into the ground like one of his shitty rockets. This has been We Told You So. Like I said, cartoons and memes are hitting it right on the head.